Activities within Abuja, the nation's federal capital territory, is set at a pause today, characterized by sluggish and cautious movement as the residents turned out in large numbers for the commencement of the nationwide protests and bad governance movement. Tight security was seen around the Federal Secretariat and three-arm zone of the Federal Capital Territory, with military personnel seen at different points fully armed. At the Moshood Abiola Stadium in the FCT, where protesters convened as early as 6 a.m. to begin their protest, tight security is seen with the Nigerian Police Force and the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps fully on ground to ensure a peaceful protest and that government properties are not vandalized in the process of the protest. We are right here at the Moshood Abiola Stadium where the protesters are made to convene to protest. The report reaching us is that the protesters were asked to go into the stadium to protest and not outside. As you can see, there is tight security. The police are here to make sure that everything is going accordingly. The people said they are not willing to go into the stadium for the protest. We'll keep you updated as events unfold. Commissioner of Police Bennett Igwe, in charge of the FCT command, who was on ground, told newsmen that a court order issued yesterday had limited the protest to within the Moshood Abiola Stadium. Earlier, he said the protesters had been given 3 hours to vacate the road and enter the stadium as stipulated in the court order.
About their right to protest, but the court order have said that they should protest inside the stadium. And where their right stops is where another person's own starts. As they are blocking the expressway, I have said, enter the stadium and do your protest. That's my message. No person is stopping them from doing protest, but they should enter the stadium and do the protest. That is the court order, which they are aware of. So as they are here now, they are disobeying court order.
The protesters retorted that they could not protest inside the stadium, and whatever happened, they were ready to stay and see the end of it.
We are not going inside because we are not here to play football. We are here to protest. They are oppressing us and we are tired of the oppression. We are fighting for the rights of the police and every citizen of this country, but they are trying to oppress us upon it. It's not normal. We are not leaving this place. If they are shooting us, let them shoot us here. If they are going to oppress us, let them do it here. We are not going anywhere. We are not protesting against the police. We are protesting against Tinubu. So Tinubu should come and address us, not the police.
They equally queried the heavy presence of security personnel during a peaceful protest when they were supposed to be combating the terrorists in the Kaduna-Abuja Expressway.
He's giving us 3 hours to vacate these premises, or else he has not told us what he's going to do to us if we don't leave these premises. Now we get Nigeria, and if there is otherwise, today we want to know if we are the owners of Nigerians or they are the owners of Nigerians. As you can see, me press, hope you are videoing them, the amount of police and security that is here. If they deploy this kind of security in Abuja-Kaduna Express Road, we will not be having the issue of kidnapping and insecurity on that express road.
Mr. Deji Adeyonju, an activist who is one of the forerunners of the protest, said the court order was virtual and that they were yet to see a hard copy, and insisted that they cannot enter the stadium to protest.
The court order said stadium, national stadium. That's what the court order say. Koniman died, Koniman bury him. You understand? Koniman died, Koniman is a Koniman. I'm also a Koniman.
So he has spoken to you now as the commissioner of police in Abuja. Are you willing to?
Are we not complying? Are we not at the stadium? Are we at Eagle Square?
Okay, but if he
He's my big brother.
If he insists that you should move into the national stadium,
then they have to carry us in. Yes, I've gone to speak as the lawyer. I've advised the protesters. I said, listen, if no matter how uncomfortable you are with a positive court order, whether it is interim, interlocutory, or perpetual, you must try to comply. The law must see you taking steps to comply. You can see that people kept it, but protesters called me as early as 5 a.m. this morning and said they're going to stop the Eagle Square. And I advise them that they should not go there. That they should not go to the Eagle Square, because if they do that, they'll be disobeying the court order.
For his part, the commandant of the National Security and Civil Defense Corps for the Federal Capital Territory, Mr. Olushola Odumosu, admonished the crowd to protest quietly and peacefully without violence.
Basically, when protests of this nature happens, we have some of them who have genuine intentions, and of course we have some people who would rather vent their anger, and willfully destroying government property, and that is what we are how to prevent. And our men are everywhere. We have deployed to virtually all critical national assets in the country. I've been in Abuja as we speak. But of course, we will not allow the protesters to take laws into their hands, and we are just here to regulate. That I can tell you.
Barrister Okere Kingdom, convener of Lawyers in Defense of Democracy, who was active at the stadium, also addressed the press on the intentions of the protesters.
If we send a message to government, we remain here, continue to sing our solidarity song. They have important talks. That is not the issue. Nigerians cannot be shut up. This country belongs to all of us.
Yes.
Tinubu himself protested.
Yes.
He did not only protest, he sponsored several protests.
Yes.
Now we ask a question, a fundamental question. Why are we celebrating failure in this country? The reason for all these problems in Nigeria, the reason for all the hunger, all the suffering, is because Tinubu removed subsidy.
The End Bad Governance protest arose due to the hardship and hunger the citizens are facing and the reckless spending by the government officials. The citizens have decried the rise in foodstuff and other household items, the rise in the exchange rate of naira against dollar, the hike in electricity tariff, and what has been considered as the reckless spending by Nigeria's lawmakers, who they say earn more than any lawmakers in the world. Some of the demands of the citizens to the government, which they say must be attended to before they can back down on the protest, include living wage of 300,000 naira, fuel pump price of 100 naira per litre, that lawmakers should earn salaries, combating insecurity and end to hunger, total electoral reforms, prioritizing made in Nigerian goods, close of all IDP camps, compulsory free education for primary to secondary school, and tertiary education grants and not loans, judicial reforms, and transition to a unicameral legislature.
We want to end insecurity in this country. We want to end bad governance. We want free education for all. And for that to be loan that they are giving poor, hungry Nigerian youths, we want it to be as grants, because this country has the capacity to take care of its citizens. We put this government there, and they are the ones that is leading us. They are ruling us. We put them to rule us, not otherwise. They can't infringe our rights. We are still at the Moshood Abiola Stadium. So far, so good. The protest is still peaceful. The CP has come to address us, and we too have addressed him.
Reacting to the protest, the federal government, through the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Alhaji Mohammed Idris, listed some of the steps it has taken to ameliorate the situation in the country. These include subsidizing the 50 kg bag of rice by about 50% to 40,000 naira. Commencement of the disbursement of the student loan and other measures that have been put in place to address the demands of the people.
Most of the demands that the protesters are making are actually being addressed by the federal government. And therefore, it is the view of government that there is really no need for the protest again. Indeed, the president is already protesting on their behalf by doing those things that they want government to do. For example, the effort that government is making in ensuring that food is being made available. There is also rice that is being sold at about 50% of its cost. centers have been created so that those who need this rice can go there and buy this rice at 40,000 naira. In the first instance, about 10 trucks are being made available to each of these states. Government has not pretended that these supplies are indeed enough, but these are necessary first steps that are being made.
Apart from the Federal Capital Territory of Abuja, other states have recorded protests such as Kano, Kaduna, Rivers, Bauchi, Borno, Delta, Lagos, Zamfara. The people are seen protesting peacefully except for Kaduna and Kano, where the protests have been hijacked and the military are releasing tear gas to curb the situation. In Port Harcourt, Governor Similaye Fubara addressed the protesters at the entrance to the government house, saying that they should carry out the protest peacefully, devoid of violence.
Let me first of all thank you. I'm thanking you because you're peaceful. That is the first thing. I'm thanking you because you're here. I'm thanking you because you're here to demand, because you want a better Nigeria, is it not?
He repeatedly emphasized that he was aware of their plight and gave a firm assurance that the situation was not only being addressed but would be ameliorated before long. He also promised to release something to them immediately, which the youth reportedly rejected, saying that they wanted concrete and lasting solutions to their plight.
I am one of you. I feel your pain. And in our own government here, we are doing everything to make life easy for our people. I will support you. I will support you. Before you leave here, I will give you small thing, at least to take buy pure water and bread.
Noting that the protests had been peaceful, the governor admonished the protesters to continue on that path and to guard against it being hijacked by those whose goal is to destroy the state.
This particular protest that we are doing now, our only worry is that we know that a lot of people are planning to take advantage of this protest to destroy our state. But we will not allow it.
In Borno State, the protest has degenerated with police shooting and chasing protesters with tear gas. Anebo Ebere reporting for True Vision Online Television, the platform that democratizes the media space.